well. There were times when they were speaking to the Jews and the Jews were receptive to the word. So much that they asked them to come back and speak again in the synagogue in Acts chapter 13. And when they came back, the Gentiles received the word. At that point then, the Jews were a little upset and they began to plot against Paul and Barnabas. They ended up in Iconium preaching to both the Jews and the Gentiles until they got word that they were planning to mistreat them. They were planning to stone them. And then they decided that they would get out of Dodge as quickly as possible to continue on their mission. And so we pick up now at Acts chapter 14, verses 8 through 18. So if you would, please stand as we read God's word. Acts chapter 14, verses 8 through 18. And it reads, At Lystra, a man was sitting who had no strength in his feet, lame from his mother's womb, who had never walked. This man was listening to Paul as he spoke, who, when he had fixed his gaze on him and had seen that he had faith to be made well, said with a loud voice, Stand upright on your feet. And he leaped and he began to walk. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they raised their voice, saying in a Lycaonian language, The gods have become like men and have come down to us. And they began calling Barnabas Zeus and Paul Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. The priest of Zeus, whose temple was just outside the city, brought oxen and garlands to the gates and wanted to offer sacrifice with the crowds. But when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of it, they tore their robes and rushed out into the crowd, crying out and saying, Men, why are you doing these things? We are also men of the same nature as you, and preach the gospel to you, that you should turn from these vain things to a living God, who made the heaven and the earth and the sea and all that is in them. In the generations gone by, he permitted all the nations to go their own ways, and yet he did not leave himself without witness, in that he did good and gave you rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, satisfying your hearts with food and gladness. Even saying these things with difficulty, they restrained the crowds from offering sacrifice to them. You may be seated. In 2002, America was introduced to one of the most viewed reality TV shows known to man. A platform that was created that allowed average citizens to showcase their talents, to chase their dream of being the next famous singer. American Idol has created famous people that we all still remember today. Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Fantasia Barrino, Carrie Underwood, and so many more. As we look at Acts chapter 14, verses 8 through 18, I challenge you to pay attention to the prevalence of the idols that are around us, those that we may continue to seek before we even seek our own God, and find a way to chase and seek the living God. As we look at verses 8 through 10, at Lystra it says, A man was sitting who had no strength in his feet, lame from his mother's womb, who had never walked. So there are three things that make this man seem as if he is hopeless. One, he was crippled. Two, this was a condition that he had been born with and lived with his entire life. And three, he had never walked. Now, as you can imagine, this person was probably carried everywhere that he had to go. I don't know if they had wheelchairs back then. And so people would have to take him to where he had to go. And so it seemed as if he was hopeless, but there was hope coming through the Apostle Paul. In verse 9 it says, This man was listening to Paul as he spoke, who when he had fixed his gaze on him, he had seen that he had faith to be made well. So it says this man was listening to Paul. As you can remember throughout Acts chapter 13 and 14, Paul has been out with Barnabas preaching the gospel, sharing God's word, letting those know that God does exist and that there is hope. Verses 6 and 7 indicate that, and it reminds us, it says, They became aware that they fled to the cities of Lycaonia, Lystra, and Derbe, and the surrounding regions, and there they continued to preach the gospel. And then it says that he fixed his gaze on him, and he had seen ever had to do that, you had to feel like I did, you know the pain that I went through. And I remember being in that class and my professor telling me, take this note card and prepare a 2-minute speech. And I thought to myself, how am I going to speak for 2 minutes in front of these 15 people? So I went home and I crammed as much as I could on that little note card. I mean, to the point where I could barely read everything on there. And my goal was to come up in front of the class and stare at the clock so that I wouldn't have to make eye contact with anybody in the room as I went through my 2-minute presentation that turned into about 25 seconds. My eyes weren't fixed on anyone or anything but that clock in the back of the room. But it says here that Paul fixed his gaze on him, the man who was lame, and he had faith to be made well. Paul didn't just overlook the crowd. Paul began to dig deeper and find out what his mission was and who was it that he was supposed to reach, so that God's gospel could be so that he could bring light to the gospel. And so in that, he noticed that there was a man who had faith. And so as he noticed, this man who can't walk had faith in Christ, he goes up to him and says with a loud voice, stand upright on your feet. And he leaped up and he began to walk. Isn't that a miracle? We see how God works. And so we saw that again in Acts chapter 3. We saw some of these same exact words. The apostles have been performing apostolic miracles on multiple occasions. In Acts chapter 3, verse 2, it says, and a man who had been lame from his mother's womb, sound familiar, was being carried along, whom they used to set down every day at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, in order to beg alms of those who were entering the temple. When he saw Peter and John about to go into the temple, he began asking to receive alms. So he was sitting there asking for donations. He was asking for food. He was asking for money. But Peter, along with John, fixed his gaze on him, just as we saw Paul do. And he said, look at us. And he began to give them his attention, expecting to receive something from them. But Peter said, I do not possess silver and gold, but what I do have, I give to you in the name of Christ Jesus the Nazarene. Walk. And seizing him by the right hand, he raised him up, and immediately his feet and his ankles were strengthened. With a leap, he stood upright, he began to walk, and he entered the temple with them, walking and leaping and praising God. So at that point, we see that the gospel has light shed on it through the miracles performed by the Apostle Peter. We see the same thing here through the Apostle Paul. There were 2 healings, though, that took place at this time. Now, Paul wasn't just going out and preaching the gospel and professing healings without the word. He used the word first, and then he used that word to bring light to the gospel. We saw that the healing of the soul took place first. That man who did not have the Old Testament in his knowledge, that man still had faith, and Paul saw that faith. Just like people may see in you. I'm pretty sure there's somebody in here that's walked around and somebody's come up to you at some point and said, you know what? There's just something different about you. That's the Holy Spirit living within you, and others can see that faith coming out, as Paul saw here with the lame man. And then the second healing was the healing of the body. So according to Google, it takes a newborn a miracle here. But as we move into verses 11 through 13, we see something a little bit different. The crowds begin to worship false gods. So I want to read verses 11 through 13. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they raised their voice, saying in a Lycaonian language, "The gods have become like men and have come down to us." And they began calling Barnabas Zeus and Paul Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. The priest of Zeus, whose temple was just outside the city, brought oxen and garlands to the gates and wanted to offer sacrifice with the crowds. So this miracle was immediately interpreted with a worldview lens of pagans. Paul and Barnabas realized that this was an even more difficult challenge than it was with the Jews. When they went and spoke to the Jews, they were persecuted and they were threatened to be stoned. And so they probably thought along their way, you know what, there's no synagogue here, there's no Jews, I don't have to worry about that. We just spoke to these Gentiles and they received the word, so maybe this would be a little bit easier. And so they go on into Lystra to spread the gospel, but they find that things are a little bit different. It was a little bit of an unexpectation that took place. Their interpretation of this event and their reactions may seem bizarre to us. You know, when they started to worship Paul and Barnabas, as we'll see here, we would think that that is pagan religion. That is not how we are taught to worship God. But just as it is bizarre to us, it may seem a little difficult for them to understand our religious beliefs as well. And so even though it seems difficult, we have to understand that all people aren't in the place that we are. And as God's people, it's our responsibility to share His word so that the Holy Spirit would move within those people. So I'm talking about a worldview here. Our worldview dictates how we live our life. It's basically what makes us think something is either normal or abnormal. And just to throw this out there, if you may think to yourself that biblical things don't seem normal, then maybe you have to question your biblical worldview. And so we have to find a way to get closer to God's word, and it'll make our lives a little bit easier and seem a little bit more normal. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they raised their voice, saying in this Lycaonian language that the gods had come down like men and have come down to us. Now, I was just talking to the main outside, and sometimes you go and you speak in front of a large crowd, and you never know what the response is going to be like. Sometimes it's silent. No one says a word. You're trying to figure out, did I connect? Sometimes they erupt and they applaud you, and you're thinking, all right, I hit the mark. And right here, Paul is probably thinking the same thing, and they get up and they're shouting and they're chanting in their foreign languages. I had this one time I spoke to a group of young people down in Miami. I don't know if many of you know, but I get the fortunate opportunity to speak to young people about youth violence prevention and how to look for signs when someone may be thinking about hurting themselves or hurting somebody else. And so I'm preparing for my message, and I go to this high school in Miami. It's January, so for me it's summertime. They got blankets and mittens on. It's like 65 degrees out. And when I walk in and I'm welcomed and I stand on stage and I go through my presentation and they're chanting, they're clapping, and they're laughing and joking. And then I walk off and I'm talking to this young lady after about a 45-minute presentation. I said, well, what did you think of it? She said, well, I think it went well. And I was like, well, that's good. She's like, but I don't think my classmates thought the same thing. I said, well, why? She said, because most of them speak Spanish. speaker. There's a legend that Zeus Zeus and Hermes had visited the towns and villages of this region in human form at one point, but they didn't receive hospitality. There was one couple who welcomed them in. They were a poor elderly couple. And this couple said, come on